So today I want to speak about why it's better to engage mindfulness whenever you want to change one of your behaviors. Because the alternative to using mindfulness is to use discipline. And that is what you most commonly use to do anything, to motivate yourself to change something. Whenever someone who's not engaging in meditation tries to better themselves or tries to change something, it is kind of a top-down approach. You work with the mind however you're used to working with it. And when that comes from the ego, then it's a top-down approach. You say, okay, I want to change this behavior and I'm going to demand the rest of my mind to follow. And this is usually a very difficult process. You need a lot of motivation and enough reason to actually change your behavior. And you have to do it, again, still consistently in order to really rewire your whole brain in order to follow that new path that you want to take. You have to create new pathways in order to consistently execute the new behavior. And really, whenever you are successfully changing your behavior, you're actually engaging a certain level of mindfulness. So when you know how to use mindfulness to change behavior, that whole process becomes much easier. And the way to do that is to kind of change this top-down approach to a bottom-up approach, where you mindfully see what the situation actually demands, what is present right now whenever you're engaging in the behavior that you want to change. So that would look like you are observing very mindfully everything that all the subsystems of your mind are kind of projecting into your awareness, and you're not blind to any of those. And then you can much easier detect what is actually motivating you to change or what is motivating you to stay stuck in the behavior. And then it's easier to address those individual motivations that you have, instead of trying to force a new idea onto them, and really see, okay, is this part that is motivating me to do this kind of bad behavior that I want to get rid of, is it really serving me? What is actually the root cause? Am I really enjoying whatever this part is telling me, whatever this story that I'm telling myself about the behavior is saying? And usually you find that when you're really mindful, and this takes practice, it's not like you're going to see that the first time you're trying to look at your root cause motivations when you're doing that practice for the first time with the activity you choose to change. So you have to look at this probably a couple of times in order to really see why you are motivated to do something, or why you are not motivated to do other things if it's about something that you want to implement. And this will show you where you have to work on, and not just blindly believe that you can decide with your conscious mind to do something and then everything else will fall in line with that. Because oftentimes we have many conflicting intentions and they are not all aligned. So trying to see what is motivating you on the lowest, on the bottom level to do something, it's usually a combination of things. And when you become aware of that through mindfulness, what are all of these ingredients, so to speak, then you can address them one by one. And the beauty of this approach is that you don't really have to do anything. That's what you are going to realize. The positive changes you want and the best ones are just going to be created by looking at those individual motivations that make up your behavior. And usually what that means, you will come up with something even better than what your ego mind could think of, than what your conscious mind can think of. If you change these root motivations, or if you look at these root motivations, you will implement the best change based on consciously perceiving all of those sub-intentions that are involved in your actions. So it's going to lead probably to something unexpected, but more wholesome, and a new behavior that is more in line with your true motivations. So you might even find that actually the best change of behavior is not what you thought initially that you wanted to implement. And that's really beautiful, because you don't have to force anything. You have to just continuously observe your behavior really mindfully. And everything that's conflicting with your deepest, truest motivations, that will become visible, that will become painful. So you will naturally change behavior that is not in line with those highest goals. This is why the approach of using mindfulness to change your behavior is really, really the best one you can engage in. And it's much more useful than trying to implement a top-down approach which ignores those root motivations. Because whenever you come up with an idea of how you want to act, what you want to do, and you haven't really considered all the sub-intentions that you may have, this top-down approach may not work, because it will conflict with some other unresolved underlying intentions. Or it could be a big struggle to implement that, and then it will still not feel completely right, and you may change the behavior sooner or later when these conflicting intentions become too strong to bear. So that's what I would recommend if you want to change any behavior. And of course, if you are not yet having a very consistent meditation practice, really becoming mindful of your most basic intentions is going to be very difficult. So having a regular meditation practice is probably very much needed here. Thank you for watching. If this was helpful, you can send me some donations. The link is down below. I really appreciate those of you who have done so far. And with that, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.